Hey guys, Acesup here. The day has come. The Sunday Million, 5 million guaranteed. The big tamale happening right now, and it is top middle, a place of honor on my main display, and doing okay in the bigger 109 top right as well. Still kind of early. We are in the money, but there's still 403 players left. But we're coming 26th. Top left is the Sunday Major on Party, or B-Win. Bottom left is a big 162. Bottom middle is the Sunday Second Chance. And bottom right there is the Sunday Challenge on 888 Poker. Real mixed assortment of players out there, as there always is on the weekend. And just trying to consistently take it Phil Galfond style, a game of small battles. Just trying to take it street by street, hand by hand, level by level. Trying to make good decisions consistently. Sometimes I have a habit of getting big stacks early and then not finishing strong on the Sundays. I don't know if it's because I get tired or if it's just that it's fairly easy to get big stacks early because there's a lot of fish in and you're very deep stacked, so the skill edge is at its greatest. Obviously, as you get deeper, you don't have these 100 BB, 200 BB stacks. You normally have 15, 30, 40 BBs. I'm talking about 10M, 15M is kind of the norm late stage, so it's easy to bust at that point. Whereas early, you're not going to bust in a lot of situations. You're not going to go all in early with ace king pre-flop. But as it's late stage, it's inevitable, of course, most of the time. So it's maybe just a case of not having the chips to play with and the skill edge, and it just becoming a higher variance game later stage. Of course, everyone's in the same boat, so it just is what it is. Just the nature of the tourneys. Well, it's not always, actually. Full Tilt have those tourneys where it's you start, everyone's all in first hand, and the survivors are automatically in the money, and everyone gets good stack sizes. So that's kind of cool. But certainly that makes the early stage pretty high variance since you're just all in without even seeing your cards. But what do they call them? Flip outs? Flip out tourneys? I think that's what it is. So top set on the bottom right here. And I think this Malta guy is a pretty big fish, so I want to bet pretty big. I think if he's got a queen, hearts, a jack, even an ace 10, queen 10 sort of thing, he can have those hands he's probably calling. Obviously ace queen and queen 9, the big blind here could have. It's obviously a concern. But I think not quite a big enough concern for us to not go ahead and bet to protect our hand and try and get value. He could also be controlling with a hand like 10 jack, or probably not impossible, even once in a while, a hand like pocket 10s. So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. So it gets to the river and he jams. One card straight there. I don't think he's going to do this with missed hearts, and so that being the case, or even two pairs and stuff. So I don't think we can call here. It's obviously pretty annoying. There is a small chance he actually already had it and flopped the nuts, but it's pretty unlikely because he probably check raises turn with the double flush board. Yeah, top left, I guess I'm just going to fold. Just because we're pretty early. Had I been late, I would have called. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty unlikely he's doing this, I think, with... not impossible, but like, let's say he's got 7, 9 of hearts. Something like that. But yeah, I think most of the time he's going to have the queen there. He's that particular type of player, I mean. It does remind me of the World Series where... what was the guy's name that did the big bluff? Guy who used to play a lot, the Spanish guy, in the 2014 WSOP final table. Polo Popeye is his online name. Remember, he donked the turn in a certain hand against the guy that ended up coming third, the Dutch guy. The Dutch guy called light, virtually a float on the turn, and then I think it was a one-card straight, very similar, where the queen made a straight on the river and the Dutch guy shoved all in. Dutch guy actually rivered two pair, but decided to turn it into a bluff, successfully so, because the other guy actually did have a small straight. If you haven't seen it, you probably have no idea at all what I'm talking about right now, but for those of you that have seen the final table, I'm pretty sure you would remember that hand, because it was 24-6-30. One of the very few interesting hands, I thought. 24-6-30. Yeah, I mean, I think we could just fold here. Well, yeah. It's pretty close, that spot. Couldn't really fault someone for calling, but I just think, you know, it's best case pretty close to break even. And the guy's a pretty huge donk. Not thrilled about taking a flip for M5 in a sort of break even spot against a huge donk, to be honest. Top left, I think I'm going to fold. This looks really nutty to me, this 3-bet. He's attacking early open and early to mid call and raising small. And it looks like we're going to get to find out what he does have, so that's good. Because I am quite curious. So, yeah, I mean, he, who knows, maybe he did turn his hand into a bluff before on the bottom right. His only chance to win is to bluff river if he's missed. But I don't really think that he's got that many missed hands in his range, to be honest. Well, we didn't get to see that hand top left. And he's been pretty tight from early, and we do have is that 300 or 500? 308 hands on him, and he's been quite tight. So I just don't really, and we're betting, I mean, we're betting pretty strong on a dangerous board, so we kind of look like we have, actually kind of look like we have the sort of hand, well, that we do, either a set or two pair or maybe king, queen, even the nuts sort of thing. Which does lead me to sort of wonder a little bit. Does he really call turn when we're with such a show of strength with a hand like two pair? But I think these guys have troubles folding in that instance, a hand like king queen. Real trouble. Even jack queen. They don't like letting go. But if he did have a small flush draw, it was a very nice bet, and I think had it been a little bit cheaper, probably would have made the call, but I think with the SPR of 1, we had to be good at least 33% of the time. Getting 2-to-1 pot odds, and I just didn't quite feel that we were, but I do think it's kind of close, because I do think he has some sort of bluffs in his range, but I just didn't quite feel there were enough, to be honest. So I'm just going to bet to set up a nice turn river jam here. It's bottom right. This guy could have anything. King jack. He could just be being a huge fish. So he's check jammed us. Jack queen suited. King jack. Hopefully he hasn't got pocket tens. King queen's a big possibility as well, I guess. Yeah, just ace jack. Just wants to give us chips. It's obviously pretty unfortunate for him. You know, when I say give us chips, I'm obviously joking around. It was just a really tough spot for him. His ace jack suited, I'd imagine, is pretty hard to fold in that spot. I don't think I'd be folding to a 3-bet in that spot with ace jack suited. Ace jack off and ace 10 I might, but ace jack suited is probably about the range where I'm not folding, unless I think the guy is either very, very tight or very, very loose. And then I'm obviously going to adjust and either call wider or call tighter. I think we'll just flat here. And I would think I actually might raise here. I think it's not too bad a raising spot here because we get to take the initiative and now I get to bet out like this. And I think this is obviously not a very good board, but I do think our opponent will fold a fair bit still when he's got high cards. I think he's isolating pretty wide versus the little limper. Still could have the best hand. And feels like he's kind of got the same hand. Ace queen, ace jack, maybe with the club, or he might just be sort of controlling with, you know, red nines or something. But I think, yeah, ace jack with a jack of clubs, maybe king queen with a club. But I think the reason why it's good to take the initiative there with a 3-bet is because he had king queen with a club, is because he's isolating the limper pretty wide. And when we make that 3-bet, the limper is actually going to probably call fold a lot of flops and call also with a lot of hands we dominate, both of them, as was the case because of their ranges. As it was, we got the situation we kind of wanted, which was a just a single caller is obviously better with our hand, but this guy's just shoved on me. It's actually pretty sick because I think we're actually flipping. This is actually really sick because I'm pretty sure he has a hand like 5s or 6s. It's a pretty deep shove, but I'm not going to call, but I do feel like we're flipping. I actually kind of limp to prevent him from doing that. Now I wish I had have raised, because if I had have raised, he probably is going to, well, he may still just shove, but if he does just 3-bet, I'm probably going to shove on him. But he's probably just going to shove, I guess, if we open, if he's shoving, if we're limping. But he might think part of our plan is to, you know, limp call or limp shove. And with a hand like 5s, you don't really want that. 4s, deuces. You don't want to be calling your opponents all in there. You want to be the aggressor. Because it's just never going to be a good result. Even if your opponent's jammed with, like with the hand we had, it's a flip. So his play seemed to be pretty good. This guy's, I think I'm going to release here. It's pretty close. You could 3-bet it. He's not that loose from early. He is a little bit loose from late, but he's only raising 12% from early, so wow. I don't think we can quite fold top left here, just because there's just so much money in there. Our opponent, I think I saw him pretty aggressive before. Yeah, the real Mormon. Actually, I don't know now. Yeah, I just think too often he could have even 8s or 9s. He could have 7s. He could have ace, king, ace, queen. Obviously, he's probably doing that with hands like aces and stuff as well, you know, so he's probably doing it with his entire range. A little bit worried about the UTG player as well. They haven't been that loose, but at the same time, we're only M7, and there's just a ton of chips out there. And he does have ace king. And we don't hold or get there. So, yeah, I don't really regret that. I think at that stage of the tournament, we're really willing to get ourselves into a situation where we can get some chips. And that was a pretty good spot to do so. You know, it was a 17k pot. Would have boosted us right up. And now we flop trips. What a game. Did cash in the 100 rebuy today. And now we have ace king. Look at this. You must be kidding me. 835. Cowboys top right. See if we can come back from top left with less than one ante we had, I think. Nope, can't do it. Fortunately, we haven't been winning many hands this weekend. See if the kings do a bit better for us. Pretty good spot. This big blind I think is going to shove a decent percentage. And he was on snap fold. Now he's probably going to jam us when we raise. I think we're not quite deep enough to open those types of hands, top middle, the 6-8 suited. We just don't quite have enough depth of stack. You can tell I'm a little bit flat guy. Well, I'm not flat so much. I'm just taking things slow today, guys. It's a combination of being a little bit tired and having a cold, and also just the fact that there's, you know, big tournaments here. Big 109's got 62.5 up top. Sunday Mills, of course, has got a tidy 579,000. And even the big 162's got almost 50k up there. So bottom left, yeah, well. Wow. This is pretty sick. I kind of feel like he wants to pretend he's got aces, and so therefore he's got like ace king, or I hope he hasn't got ace queen. That would be pretty gross. The first guy could have a hand like tens or jacks, nines, ace king. The second guy is not going to have a hand like ace jack very often, virtually never, I would think, unless he's a huge donk. I think I was going to fold anyway, but I've actually lost my sound again due to this PokerStars bug that I keep getting. I don't know what I was going to do, but I think I was going to fold. Obviously, we would have been jamming the 3-better. could be an epic mistake. But we're going to find out the magnitude of this mistake. Wow. Well, it was the correct it was the I didn't even know what to say about that hand. He says he misclicked, which, you know, it's very easy to believe. So had he not misclicked, I wonder what he would have had. It's hard to factor in the misclick. I have sort of factored it in before, but not in that instance. Normally when a guy, like, the blinds are 100, 200, and instead of opening for like 450, he opens for like, you know, 4,500 and just raises, you know, way, way, way too big. And then I might factor it in. But in this instance, it's pretty hard to factor in a misclick. The thing is that he's actually never folding at that point, so we made the correct wrong fold. Or is it the wrong correct? Correct wrong. So, I mean, we would have lost the pot because he's just not folding once he gets that much of his stack in ever. But at the same time, obviously we were in, well, I mean, decent shape. We had the best hand, flipping with the ace-king. And we actually would have, I think, was there a side pot? Maybe there was a very small side pot, but... So, I wonder what he would have had if it wasn't a misclick. Would he actually have had aces? I don't have any notes on him, and he's been kind of tight, so I like to think that he only really does that with aces or kings. And once the other guy's 3-bet, I mean, he can have a pretty big hand as well, because we've opened from early position, so... No real regrets about folding. But I did think I had more time in the bank. But what happens, if you haven't watched the other videos, because you've heard me complaining about it a bit, is the PokerStars bug that I have. And it should be pretty clear if you look at the hands I'm playing, is that I'm actually grayed out. And the players, once they fold, they have this fold on them permanently for the hand. And when it comes up like it does top right, where it says the limits are going up, the blinds, that will just stay there the entire time and not disappear like it normally does. Along with all of that, I get no sound, so I cannot hear when it's my turn to act, which, as you can imagine, is quite a bit annoying. I don't think we can quite fold here, getting this price. And we need a king. An 8 will do it. Take it. We'll take that one. So I really just wanted to give you guys a bit of an update anyway. And as you can see, well, we got a couple of chances. So I'm going to try and build some stacks here. I do have the full tilt Sunday Major on the side here. Average stack in that, getting kind of deep. And the bigger 11, probably a little bit above average in that one. But obviously the main one we're focusing on is going to be the top middle here. Sunday Million with over $500,000 for first. So I'll bring you a bit more info later on, guys, hopefully, providing I'm still in and haven't suddenly rampaged and busted everything. But I will just sign out for a bit now because I actually want to restart the software and kill this bug, and that's the way to do it. So hopefully I'll see you guys shortly with huge stacks. Well, shortly for you, but maybe a couple of levels for me.